All right. Captain's vlog, January 6th. I have not recorded in a little bit, which is why I'm recording now. Kind of forcing myself to. Not forcing myself because I don't want to, but I was like, get your ass over here and do this. I haven't been doing as much with the coding, and that's like, definitely got me feeling a little bit of like, oh, I'm falling behind and I should be doing more. And I don't shit all over myself, but like, I'm definitely like coming up and I wish I could be doing more. I finished that app and then I was kind of like, wow, okay. And it kind of coincided with just the holidays and my birthday, largely my birthday, and then getting back to work. This week is like kind of everything's going back. And so I haven't had time. Especially, it's New Year's resolutions and you're trying to like get more steps, drink more fucking water, and haven't been actually doing much coding as much as I'd like. I'm still watching a bunch of YouTube videos. I love Google NotebookLM. I wanted to learn more about a few things. APIs, like just really understand like what they are. I was hoping to learn more about RAG. I didn't put that in. I'll do that later or another time. And I was hoping to learn more about Next.js. And you can make podcast episodes. You can bring in sources or it'll find sources for you and then make podcast episodes. And every time I clean the house, we do like a deep cleaning once a month, and no judgment. That's all it needs. But do the deep dive cleaning. I listen to podcast episodes. And so I was like trying to go through and be like, where could I find a podcast about this? And like knowing full well, like who's doing a podcast episode about Next.js. So I had Google Notebook LM make me one. I had it make me a few actually. And it was really helpful. Really, really helpful. And just starting to understand like what it is and like kind of wrap my brain around it more and understand the folder framework. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I actually really like this. And I'll probably have another chat with Chat about this. And just kind of like, how many of these frameworks do you need to know? Right? Like if you think about it from like building websites, like people are like, they're a Squarespace person, or like I am a WordPress person. Like, can I just be a Next.js? I don't want to say the dot for whatever reason, a Next.js person. Or is it like helpful to learn all these other ones? And, so I got to talk to Chat about it, but like understanding how it works and the folder system, it makes so much sense. Like the path created by the folders. And I was like, yes, understanding that. Huge. And then in one of the episodes, two episodes, they're the same content, but I had one to do a shorter episode and I had to make a longer episode. And it spoke about a loading page. And I was like, that's so helpful. Spoiler, didn't fucking work. But it was cool that I learned about that. And I was like, oh, it didn't suggest this. And basically the loading page is like what comes up while this shit is loading, so that it makes it feel like the app is running faster. The issue is that when you're running an app like the one that I created, or a web app like the one I created, and it has to pull from a database, and this is what I was learning about, like where the permissions are set, and if I can get like a static page even to render as soon as they hit it, but like they have to be signed in. It's like trying to understand permissions and client-side rendering versus server side, and like starting to get my feet wet with that. It was a little bit confusing, and by a little bit I mean a lot, but it's definitely learn by trial. It's not trial and error. It's learn by trial. Like, yeah, it's probably gonna be wrong, but like you learn by doing the thing and building the thing, and then having a problem and being like, okay, I got to solve this. One of the problems or constraints put on is that I don't feel like spending a lot of money on this. Like I follow a lot of stuff on Threads and I read a lot of stuff on Threads, and people are spending so much money, thousands of dollars a month, and just burning through tokens. And I was like, but that's not for me. So I've been kind of doing a little back and forth. I don't mind. I seemingly still have credits in Cursor. And so I'll do the ask feature in Cursor, and then I'll like change it myself because it's just changing a single file. And I'm like, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And then I was also asking Chat about things and like copy and paste things in there. It is definitely more helpful being inside of Cursor because it can see it, right? So being inside of a code editor where it's like, it can see the files and the code is way more helpful. So as opposed to having to like copy everything and move around. But to save money, I don't mind doing it. And it's also helpful because I'm like, have to do the things manually. But all the trial and error with trying to get a loading page, which did not work. I tried a bunch of things and it did not work. And then I saw it when the person signed in and going between pages, and I was like, I don't need that. I need it for when they're waiting for it to load. But I got a lot more comfortable and continue to get more comfortable with Git. I feel pretty comfortable with it. And I tend to like Git status is my favorite. I'm like, where are we? What's going on? But using that. And then I actually had to revert because I did like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 commits and pushes, and none of it worked. And I was just like, this feels like a lot of code that is essentially, I don't know, it's not dead code, but it's not working. It's not doing what I want it to do. So like, let's get rid of it. And this is the function of Git, right? Like it has all of these commits that you have, and you can just go back to a previous one. But I hadn't done that yet. So getting to do that was cool. And I don't even want to say stressful. It wasn't. And like the fact that this thing exists, I'm just like, wow, this is amazing that this exists. I wish that this existed for probably track changes, I guess, is the same thing. I don't know. I've never used it for like a Word document, but like it was very helpful, and I'm feeling way better about Git. One of the things I saw in Threads is Boris, the creator of Claude Code. He is like getting tagged in a lot of stuff, and he's like being very active on there. And someone was saying that they, went to install Claude, and they did it from the terminal, from the command line, and they had like the worst time with integrating with GitHub. And I was like, I don't remember it being that bad. Like, as I sit and think about how I can monetize this and help people and teach it, I'm like, I did it once, and I definitely don't have the proficiency to teach people how to do it again. But I'm just like, I don't remember it being so bad that I was like, this is so terrible. And as per always, I really firmly believe in reading the manuals for things and watching the tutorials. I find them extremely helpful. I did not finish all the tutorials for Git, but I did all of the beginning ones that were comparable to the course that I was also watching. Supplementary, but it was like comparable in terms of like what they introduced, except Git went a little bit deeper. And I was like, the tutorials went a little deeper. So that was like I was really happy about that. I just like have like a mental note here of getting back to doing more stuff. It's tough because I like did that project, and I'm like, I should make something else, but I'm like, what's needed? I'm very much, the type of person that I'll do something when it's asked for. I don't just like make stuff. And that's what I see a lot of on Threads, is that there are a lot of ideators, a lot of people come up with things that I don't think are even problems, but it's cool, props to them for making these things. And I'm like, who's buying this? Like, I love that they scratch the itch by just doing it. And so I don't think that you need to have someone buy something in order to make it. Clearly, I'm just making stuff. But for folks that are trying to monetize this, that's like very much cart before the horse. And it's like you need the audience first. And I see a lot of people like realizing that and saying that. And it's like, yeah, no shit. But people just making stuff to make stuff. And it makes sense. Like, right, this attracts a certain type of person. It attracts a tinkerer. But that is where I'm at with things. I'm looking at the notes over here. And that's about it. I'm not doing that much. I have stuff I'm working on at home and building stuff, and I'm doing these like minute cryptic game things, and I think it's all the same, right? In this like kind of puzzle solving, and I actually that part there, that I'm reading things and seeing things, and maybe it's a little bit of like bias because some of the people I'm seeing it from, and like one of them is my guy Kay, and he's very similar to me, and so he's sending me stuff that of course we kind of both agree on. But just the acknowledgement of using AI in this way is a skill, and the folks that will actually do well with this are the ones that are truly curious and that are not just like, oh, this is fine because I build this thing, I don't even know how it works, and like whatever. Is folks that are like, oh no, I should probably like learn some more about this and like figure this out and try to do more of this myself. Not necessarily writing the code, right? It's the problem solving, it's the logic behind it, it's understanding what's needed, right? Like I think that there's a huge skill. I know there's a huge skill there, and I'm sure that there's like a name for that in the traditional computer web space, but it's nice to see more things being written about this and just more talk about this as a skill. We know that AI is going to disrupt the industry. How? I don't know. But if it wasn't, it wouldn't be getting all this coverage. It wouldn't be getting all this pushback from people. People wouldn't be taking the time to try and shit on it. They'd just be like ignoring it. But the fact that they take the time to be like, here's why it's bad, and here's why it sucks, and here's why you're not going to get anywhere. I'm like, you're a little bit worried. And I don't think you need to be worried. I understand, but I don't think you need to be worried. I think that it's also going to create, technology can take away some things, absolutely, but can absolutely create a lot more opportunity. And so, maybe perhaps for folks that aren't as creative or as open-minded to things, and it's just like, I don't like change and this is bad for me. But I think that for these folks that already have this skill set, I think this is like fucking magic for them, and I'm excited for them, and hopefully they're excited for themselves. I think they're not, which is why they're on social media just shitting all over things. But it is nice to see that it's being spoken about as a skill. There was something else I was going to say, and I don't remember what it was. Let me do a pause here. I'm back. I don't remember what I was going to say. But I will say about social media, I'm also seeing a lot of predictions, and it's just like interesting. It feels like very human nature, and people want to be right, and people want to be relevant. And so there's a lot of predictions about AI and what's going to win and like what's going to happen. It's like, seems very futile to me. I'm not sure why people really waste the time. I guess so that maybe in 5 years they can like screenshot their thread and be like, see, I told you, which is fine. If that's like what, whatever floats your boat, whatever flips your pancake, right? But it feels futile to me because it feels very siloed, right? I feel fortunate in that a lot of feels there. I am fortunate, I believe, because I'm a muggle, right? I'm a regular person, and I'm coming into this coding world, and I live in the online business space, and I'm from the physical therapy space, the movement world, and that means I have like a lot of people that aren't in the tech side of things, is what I'm getting at. And so to be crossing over into this tech side of things, I see this tech silo, and I'm just like, hey, the people that are over there are not living like this. And there was a person that, I know what I was going to say. There was a person that basically is like us, is like, a tinkerer and a builder of things. And it's just like, what's going to happen to all these big platforms like in 5 years or however many years when like people can just make their own things? And it's just like, people aren't. That's the thing. They're not going to. Like, I don't know how easy this can become where you can just make your own thing. And the discussion underneath that thread was interesting because people were like, it'd be nice to see like bolt-on things where, that's a cool name, bolt-on, things that you can bolt on, right? Or that you can customize these bigger platforms that are already there. So you could like customize the dashboard for something like the Kalo ring, or however the fuck you say it, or the Whoop band, right? Because people were like, I wish I could just have this, but like a little bit different. And it was a very good thread, and like part of kind of depressing because like part of me wants to like build these bespoke apps, and like one guy was like, he literally used the word bespoke, and I was like, no. When he was like, I advise against it because there's the maintenance side. Apparently, the building side of things is the easy. It's maintenance that's the issue, and people aren't going to want to maintain their own servers and things like that. And I get that. And so like it definitely was like, oh, like I had thrown out there that like something that I would like to do is build these things for people, but like, yes, there are also a lot of things already out there that exist that get the job done, and this needs a little bit of tweaking. What am I thinking of? I have like I use the Apple like step thing, but it tracks like through your phone. But when I'm just on my treadmill, I'm sitting on a treadmill right now. When I'm on my treadmill, like, it doesn't track that, and so I like have like a pedometer, and then I have to manually add it. And I was like, this would be great if I could just like have this on the home screen. And there is a thing on Apple called shortcuts, and ChatGPT was one that told me about it. But like it didn't really work that well, so I was like, what the fuck? But like the ability to just personalize and customize these things would be really helpful. And that's what people were talking about, that is the future, and that would be nice to have in the future, as opposed to like people just building their own apps. And it's like true, because the maintenance side of it, and just like, I know no one has the tech tenacity to do this. Like people don't even want to build their own websites with like something as simple as Squarespace. So like, no, they're not going to do this, which is why I was like, hey, there's, a play for me. But then you always kind of go back to what's familiar to us. And I was like, well, I could teach people how to do this, and there'll be a small subset of people that like, want to learn how to do this. So yeah, I'm also thinking about the monetizing side of it, which is, premature. But I also like want to move into the space. I want to move out of the online business space, and I want to move into. I really enjoy it. I really believe in it, and it was cool because someone put up the localhost joke, and I didn't get it. I've seen that joke before, and when I saw it this time, I was like, I laughed, and that's because I understood it. And before, I like didn't get it. But the joke is like, they're making fun of a vibe coder, and it's like, I made this awesome app, and Cloud Code is amazing. I made this awesome app, and it took me only a few hours. Check it out here, and the URL is like, localhost 3000. And I'm like, oh, I get it, because that's the local server. And like when I'm running my npm run dev, which I need to actually look up what that stands for. I'm like, run development, run developer area, run the sandbox. Like, what the fuck is it? What does that mean? Gotta look it up. I'm gonna write a little note. npm run what does that mean exactly? I use it, but I don't know what the fuck it means. But I understood it, and I was like, okay, haha. But like, I'm learning. I'm learning the things, and it's exciting to me. I do wish that was doing more right now, and I could be doing it right now. I need to go downstairs and lift. It's my word for the year. I got my little bracelet on is tropize. Tropize is not an actual word. Tropism is, but I wanted a verb, and so I made it into a verb, and it's tropize. And I'm largely interpreting it as grow towards what nourishes you. Right? We can have positive tropism, negative tropism. There's different types, and talking about like water and light and things like that. And so I'm kind of like equating it to being a plant and what's needed, and leaning towards that and growing towards that. But that is sleep and water. I just really felt called to have water, a lot more water this year. My word is not water, but I felt called to have more water. So leaning into that. And so we're doing that first. And suddenly at the end of the day, I'm like, there's not very much time. But I did watch that fucking YouTube video that the guy said, he's like, something has to give. And I do watch TV at the end of the day. Right? I watch TV with my lady, and I can give up one of those episodes, but I actually really value that. And so it's just like, yeah, there's something has to give. And I'm not sure what that is yet. Clearly it's the coding that has given. But I got it on the to-do list, and I will get back to it. And that's why I came in here to do this, kind of hold myself accountable. And all right, that's it. Captain's vlog done for today. Curious Captain's vlog done for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back when I'm back. Maestro out.